In this video, we shall review what kinds of levels and types of requirements exist. This rather big picture not only shows us levels of requirements, but it also shows us types of requirements. And here we also may speak about vertical and horizontal traceability. In other words, how one level of requirements influence other level of requirements. That is vertical traceability. When we see how one type of requirements influences other type of requirements, that is horizontal traceability. Or even requirements within one level and type may influence one another vertically or horizontally. If you want to go deeper into all those ideas like vertical or horizontal traceability, cross-influence between requirements, and much more specific details about requirements, their levels and types, ways of requirements gathering, and how to deal with requirements in general, I strongly recommend this book by Carl Wiggers and Joy Beatty. This nice book contains a lot of data, and some may even think that it is too hard for beginners, so we will take a more simplified approach here. Here we once again have levels and types of requirements. This picture, a small copy, will be held at the corner of the screen as a reminder, and we will discuss these ideas in details. Let's go! The highest level of requirements are business requirements. They express the main idea of the project, of the product we are developing. They answer such questions as why is it needed at all? What benefits are expected from it by the customer or by end users? Here at the bottom of the screen you may see some examples, some quotations. This is not a complete set of requirements. Each example is on its own, taken out of the context. But you may pause the video, read these requirements, and get more clue on how business requirements may look like. Business requirements usually are combined into such document like project vision and sometimes project vision and limitations. This document answers all those questions and usually contains the information on where does the project end. Because, for instance, imagine we are making some internet marketplace. It's a good product, a good project, okay, but in real life, along with this marketplace, come logistics, storage management, salary system, and so on. There is a lot of other systems and subsystems that are not part of this original project. Those subsystems are outside, so the document like project vision and limitations should show that we are only doing this and not this in this particular project. The next level is user requirements, and this level describes operations that user can perform with the system. And usually how the system responds, reacts to the user actions. It may describe some user scenarios. Here are some examples. In real life, this level of requirements is usually described as use cases or user stories. The difference is the next. With use cases, we usually have a rather huge document with UML diagrams inside, with a lot of basic, alternative, exceptional scenarios, preconditions and so on. Use cases approach is typical for such software development models as waterfall, V model, spiral model, iterative incremental model, and so on. With user stories, things are different. The typical formula for the user story is as who I want what, so that why. For instance, as a system administrator, I want to select several items so I can delete them all simultaneously. This approach is typical for agile models like Scrum, Kanban, Lean, and so on. Before we go to the lowest level of requirements, we should talk about requirements types, like functional requirements and non-functional requirements. As we can see here, functional requirements describe function that some component, system, product should perform. The non-functional requirement describe how this function should be performed. Here are two examples. For instance, a bird, let's assume we are developing one, should fly. So fly is functional requirement here. And how should it fly? It should fly high. This is a non-functional requirement. And if we are making some virtual singer, this singer should sing. This is function, so this is a functional requirement. And how should it sing? It should sing nicely. This is a non-functional requirement. As you can see from these examples, non-functional parts are usually combined with functional requirement. Of course, there are exceptions when non-functional requirements are separate ones, but usually a non-functional component is a part of the requirement itself. So once again about functional and non-functional requirements. The lowest level of requirements. As we have already discussed, functional requirements describe some behavior, and here are some examples that some application should check, should backup, should verify, and so on. And non-functional requirements describe something like usability, security, reliability, extensibility, and so on. Here are several examples, like time to failure requirements, some memory usage requirements, size of some label on the screen, and so on. The main idea is never to forget about both functional and non-functional requirements, because people tend to concentrate on functions. And if we somehow forget about non-functional requirements, well, we may create a system that somehow works, somehow does what it should do, but in a bad way. For instance, it lacks usability, it is not secure, non-reliable, non-extensible, and so on. So that system is hard to use in real life, or even impossible to use in real life. That is why both functional and non-functional requirements are absolutely crucial to make a good project.